thing. The confidence is not gonna arrive in a package at your door. It's not gonna come in the mail. It's not going to come in a text message from a good morning text. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to Thrive Out Loud. As always, it's such a joy sitting here sharing a little bit of myself with you, one episode at a time. So for today's video, I figured let's get a little bit under the skin, below the surface, now that Moto has all this time to think and to thought and to think and to thought it, I was thinking about the different ways in which we betray ourselves, essentially, the different ways in which we let ourselves down, whether we know it or not. Number one, saying yes when you really mean no. Did you know no is a full sentence? Do you actually know no is a full sentence? And I feel like this is a big one and it's very common. I don't know about you, but common with me. I often find myself in situations where I say yes to stuff where I don't want. I don't want, for the love of me, busy, leave me alone, and dizzy. But I find myself saying yes, and the reasons why they vary. I think depending on the person, depending on the ask, depending on my relationship to this person, and depending on, I don't know, maybe what I think is at stake. But I feel like it's the greatest injustice to yourself and to that other person, saying yes when you really mean no. It could be anything. They could be asking you to accompany them somewhere. You don't want, but you're going. They could be asking you for money. You don't want, but you don't want to be the bad person, so you hand it over. They could be asking you for anything at all. They could be asking you to hang out, and you really just want to be alone. I mean, they're not always detrimental stuff. Like, they're not always, worst case scenario stuff. But sometimes you don't want. And I feel like no should be a full sentence. But I feel like more than anything, the black child was taught that no is a very big abomination. What's an abomination? Abomination. There you go. I think that causes disgust a lot. Yes, it's an abomination. The black child, we were just told, and it was just instilled in us at a very young age that, saying no is disgusting. Say no. Who are you? Whomst are you to say no? But I just feel like the biggest injustice we do to ourselves is saying yes when we really mean no. Number two, ignoring our gut feeling. They're all big ones. At this point, I'll probably say this is another big one, but this is another big one. Ignoring your gut feeling. Did you know that in a world where you can be anything and you can do anything, the worst thing you can do for yourself is ignore your own gut feeling? You, the very thing that walks with you, sleeps with you, showers with you, it talks to you even when you're not listening, that thing, the worst thing you could do is ignore it, because it's like your sixth sense. It's your sixth sense. It's the one that's, it goes before you. It's able to see, and it's able to just, read the room for you in case it's very dark in here and you can't do any reading. It literally speaks to you if you just give yourself a chance to sit and listen. Just listen. Just literally just listen. But because we don't listen, even when it could target you, it could pull at you, it could tell you all sorts of things, but we decided no, we know the direction, so you're not going to use the GPS. How will you know if there's a roadblock open? So I feel like another big injustice we do to ourselves is ignoring our gut feelings. It could be anything. In my case, I think the most recent situation that we all know about, the big pink elephant in the room. Okay, but now it's losing its color but the big pink elephant in the room, I was unfairly dismissed from a workplace where I knew from the minute I walked in that this place is not for me, but I stayed because loyalty. Number three, not believing in ourselves. Either you don't believe in yourself at all, you don't believe in yourself enough, or it's just shady. When it comes to you and yourself, self-belief, water and oil, stop it, because I feel like if you are not going to believe in yourself enough or at all, how do you expect the next person to believe in you enough or at all? If you are not going to be about your business so bad, who else is going to give you that leverage, that luxury? Who do you think is going to give you that, but I just feel like another huge injustice we do to ourselves is not believing in ourselves, either enough or at all. We just, you get clues, you get signs, I keep saying, you get signs and symptoms, and you just feel that this is for me, this is not for me, and this is a thing I can do. But I feel like immediately when we need to start putting in the work, like immediately when okay, this is for you. Let's say, you have a business idea, great idea, good business idea, and maybe you've seen someone doing it and you know how you can do it better. Your soul is speaking to you, your heart is screaming at you, your mind is just racing and pacing all these ideas. But the moment you need to literally be about it, the moment where you need to start believing in your idea and pushing your idea forward and doing everything and anything you can to get it from a seed to a tree, then crickets maybe. Why do we do this? Why do we find it so much easier to believe the next person and not ourselves? Why do we find it so easy to buy into someone else's vision over our own? Why is it that someone just started something today, and it's not an idea they got today, they probably got it a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, but they battled so much with self-doubt, and they just couldn't believe in themselves enough. They couldn't believe in the vision enough to see it through. And you can literally kick yourself in the foot, because it's the same idea, same person. You could have done it 5 years ago. You would have been much further today, but divine timing, we won't dwell on that. But I just feel like it's a big injustice not to believe in ourselves. Number 4, seeking validation in the wrong places. Sometimes you might believe in yourself, you have the desire to do something, you have the skill sets to see it through, you have the drive and the will to do it, but just because your video got viewed by 3 people and got 0 likes, now you think, nah, this can't be it. Why do you seek validation from people that have nothing to do with you or your vision? Why do you seek validation from people that they don't even know you? They don't fucks with you, they don't know you, they don't care. Why do you seek validation from people that have nothing to do with your gift, with your passion, with what has been placed inside of you? People that have nothing to do with your purpose. Why do you make your purpose an outside job? This is an inside job, and it was just you and your maker when this thing was given to you, and now suddenly you want to make it a group assignment. Why is it now a group project? Why is it supposed to be a group chat? Why do you need props and an entourage to see what you have been placed on this earth to do through? Why do you need multi-mix to see it through? Why do you feel discouraged when you don't get, let's say, a round of applause? Why do you feel discouraged when you don't get that external validation that you're working so hard because you want people to see? Why does it feel like a failure when your efforts are not being seen or not being validated by people who see it? Because not everyone who sees your work is gonna come forth and say something. Not everyone who got inspired by you is gonna come forth and say something. Some people are shy. Some people maybe have no means to get through to you. Some people were too busy being inspired to say something. But why do we feel like it eats away at your purpose if no one says anything? Why are you discouraged by your 3 views and 0 likes? Why do you feel like that has anything to do with anything? Seeking external validation, I feel like, is one of the biggest thieves of joy, and it derails you from your purpose. Maybe your purpose is to give, your purpose is to speak life into somebody, but now you have attached that to external validation. Does it mean no one heard your message if it only got 3 views? What if the other ones are private views? What if somebody opted to share it instead? What if someone is still going to see it? Does it change anything about your purpose if you don't get any validation at all? Number 5, downplaying yourself. Why do you downplay yourself, your abilities, your skills, your talents, and your value? Why do you pretend like you're not the it? Why? Just to make the next person feel better. Why do you act like you're not the whole package just to make the next person feel better? And correct me if I'm wrong, people you're most likely trying not to offend are people that don't even like you, people you don't even like. But because you've made the inside job so much of a group assignment, you figured, let me just, do it for them instead of who you're really placed on this earth to do it for. Why do you feel the need to pretend like you're this small when you know you are this big because somebody said they don't like someone that's this big? Why do you pretend like you're not what you know you're capable of? Why do you, this makes me so mad, because at the end of the day, you're doing it for the wrong reasons and you're doing it for the wrong people, for the wrong crowd. A person who cannot appreciate you in your packaging, the way you came from the shops, the way you came from the store, a person who cannot appreciate your color, cannot appreciate your size, cannot appreciate your flavor, baby girl, baby boy, I don't know in what are you? I don't know in what language to say they're not for you, but they're not for you. But we go out of our way to make those same people so comfortable at our own expense. And I feel like if not the biggest injustice, it's one of the biggest injustices we could do to ourselves. It's one of the biggest ways in which you betray yourselves. You betray yourself by making your life about someone else. You keep shrinking yourself to fit someone else's mold, forgetting that people change their minds all the time. That person you're trying to impress, that person you're trying to please, could decide tomorrow, in fact, I don't like orange anymore, right? I like green. That time you bleached yourself, you colored your hair. They could decide in the blink of an eye that, in fact, I think I'm going to switch from black to white. And you've already done all the best you can to switch yourself to black because you wanted to impress them. But human beings are human beings. And I think more than anything, the many disappointments we face as a result of human beings are just there to remind us of the basic fact that we keep ignoring. Human beings are human beings, and they'll change their mind. If they can, they will. And I don't think it's fair for you to keep betraying the essence of who you are to make the next person comfortable. It doesn't work that way. Number 6, the sixth way in which we betray ourselves, we're waiting for the confidence to come. We're waiting, and you're just here on the clock waiting. The confidence is not gonna arrive in a package at your door. It's not gonna come in the mail. It's not going to come in a text message from a good morning text. It's not something you're gonna find from outside. You can be inspired by someone who makes you feel like, I've got my zingaling back. It could be a new hairstyle, like the babies, but believe me, your confidence is not an outside job, it's an inside job. And it is one of the biggest betrayals to self to, put something on hold because you're waiting to feel confident enough to do it. Because you're waiting for confidence to hit you like a truck. And trust me, believe me, that it doesn't happen. Start now. Start with, if you feel like your confidence is this small, if you feel like it is this small, start with that little bit of confidence. Just go through with it and see how you feel. You'd be surprised how much you can achieve with this little bit. Have faith in what you're doing. It doesn't mean just because some of us are so chacharach and want to be in front of the camera every day, it doesn't mean we always feel confident. On some days you feel horrible. On some days you go see your stylist and they don't do your hair the way you like, but the show has to go on. On some days, you have a big pimple somewhere on your forehead, but life goes on. On some days, eczema is like, I'm here to stay. I want to be part of the show, so what must I do? Then what? Does this mean your purpose will wait for you to feel confidence? And that's just the thing. The point I'm trying to write home is the fact that it's an inside job. It's a feeling. It's a thing that will come and go. Just because you feel confident today doesn't mean you'll wake up feeling the same way tomorrow. And just because you don't feel the same way tomorrow doesn't mean now we need to stop. The world needs to hear your voice. You need to start speaking up, and you need to start putting your gifts out into the world. You need to start just giving, putting things out, whatever it is that you were gifted to do, whatever it is that your purpose is. I feel like now we're waiting, and now you're here waiting. So at what point or people get served. I just feel like it is also a very big, I know they're all big, but it's a big injustice not to believe in yourself, not to have confidence, and to feel like you need to wait for that confidence. The confidence will find you on the way. If there's anything you can do right now, so start now with zero confidence. Start now and just see how far you can get. You'd be amazed at how much you can achieve with the little bit that you count as nothing. You'd be so surprised. The next point is waiting for the next person to get it. It could be your partner, it could be your friend, it could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be your siblings, it could be anyone, but waiting for the next person to get on the same page as you, basically. As I stated in one of my previous points, to say, when you were receiving this gift, when this purpose was planted inside of you, it was just you and your maker. There was no one, there was no assembly, there was no meeting, there was no Zoom call, there was nothing. It was just you. But when do we quit waiting for other people to see our visions the way we saw them? Why do we even wait for someone to get it? And why is it that we get discouraged if the next person doesn't get it? About a year ago, I was friends with this lady, and she had this brilliant idea. She wanted to have a mobile kitchen, something like a food truck, a mobile kitchen type of thing. And it was a wonderful idea. It sounded like a great business idea. And I feel like food is one of those things that, it never goes out of fashion. Every single day someone must work. And especially if you put it strategically, if you put it in such a place, or if you put it in a place where, people always need to eat. There's always construction projects going on. If you park it right next to a construction site, you best believe you will eat. You best believe your business will boom. But because she expected everyone to see her vision as clearly as she saw it, she quickly got discouraged when her partner, didn't come to the party quickly enough. People, I'm not saying people are being negative on purpose, or people are trying to kill your visions or your dreams, but you can't blame the next person for not seeing what you saw. You can't blame the next person for not feeling what you're feeling, because this is your purpose and not theirs. It's your gift and not theirs. Yes, they're walking with you, you are living with them, they are your people, but you cannot expect the next person to see your visions the way you saw them, because like I said, it was just you and your makeup. The next portrayal of self is being ill-disciplined. You are not unlucky. You are not, I feel like we put so much of our fate in the unknown, and we never blame ourselves. We never take accountability for anything. I mean, if we blame it on luck, then if it doesn't work out, it's not my fault. Luck was just not on my side. One of the greatest injustices we do to ourselves and to others generally is being ill-disciplined. Way beyond confidence, way beyond the motivation, way beyond everything else, way beyond all the choices you can make. There's the trace of being disciplined, because on some days you'll wake up and you'll feel unmotivated, but I feel like it's up to you to decide to show up for yourself, because you know how bad you want this. On some days the confidence is non-existent. On some days you just don't want to participate, and it will take your discipline. It'll take that discipline you've instilled in yourself to carry you through. Time and time again we betray ourselves by being undisciplined and taking no accountability. When you're not disciplined, you don't have anything to measure yourself against. You don't set goals. You just willy-nilly winging life, and you'll see what happens. You have a wonderful business idea. You might have contacts that are willing to help with anything and everything, but because you haven't tried, or you woke up feeling tired and lethargic today, so maybe tomorrow, you're just leaving it to chance. But I feel like that even tomorrow is too late. Tomorrow in itself is way too late. Why are we just winging life? Why do we think this feeling of, taking over the world and being a legend and being a champ is just gonna get delivered somewhere in the mail? Why do we feel like you're just gonna get a call from courier guy and I'm at the gate with your confidence? You think that's gonna happen? Do you think in 2022, after a whole panoramic, someone is going to knock on your door with a box filled with motivation and confidence just for you? And will that be bottomless? Like, do you see how we sleeping on ourselves, man? We just be betraying ourselves every single day because one day but that one day is today. That one day starts today. I don't think it's just gonna pop up by magic. And you know what? It's just so sad. I saw this meme the other day about how so it's this girl who's saying 7-year-old me thought 25-year-old me would have it all together, a house, a car, married with kids, blah blah blah. And yeah, it's basically saying, you know what, ha ha ha. But I just feel like isn't that in itself discouraging the younger ones that are one day gonna be 25 and they do wish to have their stuff together by the time they're 25. What is it that makes it impossible to have your stuff together at 25? I mean, I know, black child, I know, but past all of those, what is it that makes it impossible to have your stuff together at 25? It's the lack of discipline. If you're in a job that doesn't pay well, then get another job. If you have business ideas that you want to take off the ground but you can't seem to, then find a way around it. I'm not trying to say we are the way we are because we've made ourselves that way, but in some situations or in some instances, we're actually able to overcome, the different obstacles that were in our way, but we just don't. You can see
that one is a pothole, but I am just gonna jump in it. Maybe it might turn into a pool.
Who knows? Before we can even cry about all the different injustices in the world, we betray ourselves on a daily basis and then we cry foul. The very last and I think most important point, the biggest way we betray ourselves is by not forgiving either ourselves or the next person or just a situation. You might have gone through something that broke you to the last degree, to a point where you couldn't even recognize who you are anymore. You might have gone through a situation that it changed how you looked at life. It changed how you looked at yourself. It changed how you felt. It maybe took away that spark of hope you had, or maybe it propelled you forward, it propelled you further. Maybe it's that one little push you needed to just get you into action. But whatever it is that you went through, whoever it is that put you through what you went through, the biggest gift you can give to yourself and to them is to forgive yourself for not knowing, forgive yourself for not having the insight at that time. Forgive yourself for not being aware of, the situation and for not seeing it for what it was. Maybe you saw it, but you had hope that someone would never do something like that to you, and then they did it like never before. But forgive yourself for being in it. Maybe it was a wrong place, wrong time type of situation. Forgive yourself and forgive that person and forgive that situation. I feel like over and above everything, that is only when you can move on fully, by set yourself free from the burden of this thing. You don't need to define yourself as a result of this thing. You need to get to a point where you're able to see yourself outside of the shadow of that thing. Forgive you, forgive that thing, forgive that person if there was another person, and allow yourself to grow and heal from it. Just fully acknowledge what happened and allow yourself to see it for what it was, and let go of all the feelings of negativity that you hold against it. Because I feel like only then can you see color, can you see the color in the world, and only then can you see the pretty babies that are standing in front of you. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Thrive Out Loud. As always, it's such a joy sharing a little bit of myself with you. Remember the house rules, and here we like, comment, subscribe, click on the bell notification, and tell a friend to tell another friend to bring some popcorn, because homanati. See you next time. Bye.